Have you ever spent like 5 minutes online and just felt completely overwhelmed by all the toxic, confusing dating advice out there? Yeah, me too. Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're cutting right through all that noise. We're going to dive deep into the actual, scientifically backed psychology of attraction to uncover what genuinely builds a lasting connection, way beyond the silly trends and mind games. Let's get into it. I mean, it's a fair question, isn't it? If you're feeling absolute dating exhaustion right now, please know your feelings are completely valid. Social media has essentially turned modern romance into this toxic echo chamber of absolutes. We're constantly fed these extreme ideas, right? Like everyone's a walking red flag, or you have to play hard to get, or my personal favorite, that true love should just be completely effortless. Honestly, it sets us up for failure before we even start. Okay, let's dive into our roadmap for today. We're going to cover the performative dating trap, the power of true presence, phrases that build real devotion, the science of subtle attraction, and finally, why it all starts with self-love. All right, starting off with section 1, the performative dating trap. So we see this phrase literally everywhere online. If they wanted to, they would. And I get it. It sounds super empowering at first, right? But it's actually a pretty toxic absolute. The reality is that human relationships, real relationships, require context, nuance, and, you guessed it, communication. If someone doesn't text you back immediately, it doesn't automatically mean they don't care about you. It usually just means, well, they have a busy life outside of the relationship. Partners are not mind readers. Expecting this flawless, effortless perfection, that just ruins real connection. And you know, this whole toxic environment has given rise to some really interesting new archetypes, like what we call the performative male. Picture this, the guy drinking matcha, carrying a canvas tote bag, making a huge public show of reading Atomic Habits at the local coffee shop. But the sources actually point out this is often just a facade. It's a performance. It's designed to make him appear super safe and evolved, but a lot of times it's actually masking deep insecurities, and sometimes even manipulative behavior. It's wild, right? Moving on to section 2, the power of true presence. So how do we actually cut through all this performative noise? The answer is genuine presence. And this brilliantly illustrates 3 specific elements of a feminine gesture that instantly melt a man's defenses. First, you've got calm, intentional energy, just moving steadily and purposefully. Second, warm eye contact, the kind that simply shares a moment rather than begging for validation. And third, this is a big one, relaxed silence. You don't have to rush to fill every single gap in the conversation. When you put these together, it actually activates a man's parasympathetic nervous system. It biologically shifts him out of stress and into a state of relaxation and deep bonding. The absolutely crucial takeaway here is that it's all about emotional safety. This is the exact opposite of playing games. Think about it. Men are so often expected to perform, to fix things, to constantly keep their guard up. When you offer this calm, grounded presence, you are creating this rare, safe space where he feels like he can finally take off his armor. No performance needed. And let me tell you, that is incredibly magnetic. That brings us to section 3, phrases that build real devotion. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is that, surprisingly, the most powerful words a man can hear aren't always just "I love you." For instance, saying "I'm sorry" shows this rare maturity and takes real responsibility. "Talk to me, I'm listening" provides emotional oxygen to a guy who might be, bottling things up. Saying "I trust you" is explosive for devotion. It activates his hero instinct and bonds him to you through respect. Even just calmly saying "you're right" literally releases oxytocin in his brain. When he's stressed out, telling him to take your time stops his fight or flight response dead in its tracks. And during those really vulnerable moments, saying "I'll never leave you" directly cures that deep-seated primal fear of abandonment. But hey, devotion is also built with tiny, observant actions. And here is a golden rule. Keep thoughtful gifts under $20. Why $20? Well, because when gifts get super expensive, they subconsciously start to feel like a transaction, like a trade. But a $4 used copy of a book he mentioned once, or a cheap little dinosaur spatula that references an inside joke, that feels pure. That is the quiet proof that you're actually paying attention. Just look at this quote. Big gestures feel loud. Specific gestures feel intimate. Loud can impress. Intimate connects. It's those tiny details, remembering his favorite childhood candy or that silly little hobby he has, that quietly tell his brain, wow, she actually sees me. That kind of highly specific attention, it builds a wall of deep commitment so much faster than any expensive watch ever could. All right, let's jump to section 4, the science of subtle attraction. Okay, so just as our words send signals, our aesthetic choices send these subconscious biological cues too. Our brains are literally hardwired by evolutionary psychology to pick up on these triggers. Take a messy bun, for example. It signals approachability and this really relaxed, unforced energy. A ponytail playfully exposes the neck, which is a delicate feminine feature that naturally draws the eye. And soft curls, they provide a sense of touchable vitality, which evolutionarily signals health. So these aren't just, easy hairstyles you throw together. They are silent communicators of natural beauty. And the exact same science applies to the silent language of fashion. The classic little black dress projects this quiet, authoritative elegance. Wearing red, on the other hand, signals passion and vibrant life. It makes you instantly more noticeable. Blue creates this wonderfully soft, approachable energy of calm trust. And something like a pencil skirt, it subtly highlights natural curvature, offering this really elegant balance of professionalism and femininity. So, the crucial point here is, there's a catch. Your clothing and your hairstyle, they only serve to frame the masterpiece. And that masterpiece is you. You can wear the absolute perfect blue dress or rock the ultimate messy bun, but if you feel stiff and performative inside, it just falls flat. Genuine comfort in your own skin will outshine absolutely any fashion trend any day of the week. Confidence really is the ultimate key to attraction.
Which perfectly leads us into section 5. It all starts with self-love.
Because listen, none of this deep connection is possible if you are running on empty inside. So I have to ask, why do you chase love so hard? If you find yourself constantly bending over backwards, sacrificing your own needs for people who haven't even proven themselves to you yet, you really have to ask yourself why. Often, we're just seeking external validation to fill an internal void. We act out of desperation to prove we're worthy instead of operating from a place where we already know our worth. I absolutely love this metaphor. If you spend your time chasing butterflies, they'll simply fly away. But if you spend your time building a beautiful garden, the butterflies will come. Doing that deep internal work to cultivate your own self-worth, your passions, your own rich, fulfilling life, that is the only true way to attract lasting devotion. And you know what the best part is? Even if the butterflies don't come right away, you still get to live in a beautiful garden. Let's move to the next slide and see how this builds into something actionable. The golden rule here is treat yourself the way you treat the people you love. Think about how fiercely you protect your absolute best friend, or how much grace and patience you give your partner when they make a mistake. You need to turn that exact same compassion and those exact same healthy boundaries inward. That is how you cultivate authentic, unshakable self-worth. So, I'll leave you with this final provocative thought. Are you seeking an authentically fulfilling love, or are you just chasing what the internet tells you to chase? Honestly, it might be time to log off, step away from all the toxic advice, and start building your own garden. Leave a comment below about your own relationship realizations and how you are building your garden today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me for this explainer, and I will see you next time.